Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation. Of this long-term and complex investigation.
How we doing, guys? We good? We good? Welcome to Truth and Transparency. It's been a minute. Been really busy. First of all, I want to say hi to everybody. So, hello to my mods, Mod Squad, Bumblebee. What other mod was in here? Hello to Sherry. Morgan, what's up? Melissa Beck's in the house. Members. Floydy. Let's see. Haley. Octavia. She might as well be a mod. I mean, jeez. Again, hi guys. Rarity. Alan B. I would love to say it's good to see you guys, but it's good to see your screen names. How about that? I've been waiting to talk to you guys about this, because I believe that Truth and Transparency and the Delphi exclusive material has really strongly pointed to the fact that there is no way that Richard Allen acted alone. And I think today, with the prosecutor speaking, pretty much, you know, in so many words, the prosecutor, the DA, they believe that more are involved. So, Richard Allen was granted a bail hearing. So that's coming up. There was a date set. Some words that I thought were pretty interesting. You know, each state's different, guys, and you kind of have to look into Indiana and how they, run things. So that's kind of what I looked into. Is like, all right, well, what is Indiana? What's all about Indiana? In Ohio, it's different. In Colorado, it's different. But, what's up with Indiana? Let's find out. And basically, they believe that he should be out on bail at a very reasonable amount, if not on his, own recognizances. And that's just, wow. When you see something like that, because let's not kid ourselves, $20 million was what was said to be out there for bail in the beginning. 20 mil. Then it was, allegedly no bail. There wasn't a bail hearing, so now there will be one. And that because neither the proof of guilt is evident nor the presumption of guilt strong. The accused is seeking a hearing to release the accused on his own recognizances or, in the alternative, to set a reasonable bail. And that was granted. A bail hearing was granted versus saying, nope, we believe that what we have here is, no, denying it. So Richard Allen, let's focus on that, guys. Richard Allen was not denied the bail hearing. And at this bail hearing, with what Indiana, you guys know I've been promoting my guy, Mark Lopez, the lawyer. And I was actually listening to him about, to talk about what could come out of this bail hearing. And it's kind of like a mini evidence. They're going to have to expose some evidence. So, again, that bail hearing was not denied. And in fact, there is going to be a bail hearing. So, again, I can't prove this right now, but my understanding is that there's witnesses' names that are in that probable cause that are minors, and that's part of the reason. There just needs to be some heavy redacting. So, minors' names and, other people involved. Again, hello to Miss CD, Bumblebee, Tammy, just wanted to say hi back. Tammy Wells, just wanted to say hi back. Bad Girl, yes, our murder charges are very different here in Ohio compared to Indiana, absolutely. So yeah. Minors, yeah, that was on a news report. Yep. Minors. Now let's go back to this whole, remember this, murder, normal murder versus felony murder. Richard Allen wasn't charged with normal murder. He was charged with felony murder. And remember all the different things that's listed. That if you did any of these things, and by doing any of these things, that it resulted in then the murder of somebody, then that's how you're charged with, felony murder. So if he was the abductor of the girls and then passed them off on the ring, I'm just using that as an example. That's kidnapping. That's a felony. And then, the girls were then murdered. So, I think it's safe to say that the majority of us out there, we're scratching our heads when the name Richard Allen is being arrested, okay, for this. Because everyone's like, who's Richard Allen? Who's Richard Allen? And then when we try to go find out information on Richard Allen, the guy has so much as just a parking ticket and maybe a speeding violation. It's like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? When you compare to the shady characters in Delphi and the surrounding cities, you come up with the name Richard Allen, it's just like, who is this? And then when you actually go and try to find out information on Richard Allen, there's just nothing there. So I think it's safe to say right now that I do not believe that they have a murder weapon. If they do, there is no... I think it's safe to say that nothing is physically tying Richard Allen to the murders, but something is. Because I don't think that he would have been granted a bail hearing if that evidence existed. For example, let's say that Keegan Klein, Kegan, whatever he wants to call himself, when he was questioned and allegedly they went and searched the river and they found stuff in the river, then my question would be, is then why wasn't Keegan arrested then as well? I mean, yes, he coughed up the information that led to that arrest, but for him to know where that stuff would be and for there to be anything caught, you know, that has to tell you in some capacity. I mean, how would Keegan Allen, or not Keegan, but Keegan Klein know that? So I just hope that that these dots that they plan on, you know, connecting is connectable. And why arrest Richard Allen right now? Because he has the option for a speedy trial. That means going to trial in 70 days, guys. Well, if I'm Richard Allen, I want that to happen because I don't think that they can bring a case against me. Does that kind of, does it make some sense? So, yeah, not too much transparency in this case. Well, he is for sure the bridge guy. Maybe he is the one that lured the girls down the hill, but didn't do the crime. That's what Haley Rose says. Could be. Richard Allen is a ghost. Lauren says that, yep. Bad Wolf R.A. isn't a lone wolf, in my opinion. Let's see. He didn't act alone. They did say that today. Yeah, well, I mean, the prosecutor said that they believe that Richard Allen did not act alone. And it's like, okay, but what led you to Richard Allen? What led you to be able to arrest, Richard Allen? And let's say that it's, oh, well, they dug up his backyard and they got to the cat hair. And the cat hair was on, that was the hair that was found at the crime scene. Okay. So what they're basically saying there is that we can tie his cat to the girls. No, what's more likely is that the cat hair was on him and then it got transferred, to them. Now, is it, I'm just throwing things out there just based off of what we've heard about this case. And then I just think about everything that, Carter has said. And it's like, hey, well, a judge signed the arrest, a judge signed it. Is this your guy? Today's the day. Well, was October 26th or 8th, was that the day? Because right now what I see is everything actually moving the opposite way by this bail hearing even being granted. And the judge not quickly deciding to say, yep, no, we're sealing it for sure. This is going to be decided on. I wouldn't have made a decision either. Now looking at certain things, I think it's going to be heavily redacted. But I also think that they have to stick with, what precedent is and what the law is in Indiana. I mean, you don't want to give somebody like Richard Allen or anybody for that matter, a way out. What is up? Hey. I would expect his lawyers to try and get bail and say he was innocent. That's their job. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, any lawyer's going to do that, but the fact that they didn't just right out deny that, they're like, yep, you're going to have a bail hearing. You can be denied that. What's up? What's up? Do we think TK is involved? What's your email for the channel? You can just email Lana at Fight for a Family. The number 4 is with that. If somebody could throw that in chat, mods, if you could put the email in chat, Lana at fightforafamily.com. Let's see. 2 women were there, but it wasn't his wife. Somebody's saying, well, I'm just trying to stick to, facts as far as that I see them now. Yeah, there was, reported that Alan mouthed "I love you" to 2 people that were sitting pretty close to where he was, and they were 2 females. What is up, Alice from Pittsburgh? Yep, there you go. Lana at fightforafamily.com. You can hit me on that. Yep, they cannot fudge this up. Yep, by the book and laws to the T. Absolutely. I think there is strong safety concerns. I have not seen the motion in yet to a change of venue. Was that put in? But I think that his wife. I think there's strong safety concerns right now. And I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest safety concern is right now. They need Richard Allen alive. Okay? The reason that Richard Allen isn't safe is because if he in fact is involved, and there's names that he could be coughing up, okay, that he needs to stay alive for that to happen. So there's a lot of people out there, if they're involved, if Richard Allen is dead, Richard Allen can't speak. So I think that was the high alert immediately with everything from jump with Allen. It's more so what he knows and who he can roll on. So are they going to offer him a plea deal? But if Allen's dead, does that mean that these other people, we need him to get the rest of everybody? Does that make sense? Because I don't necessarily agree that he's on suicide watch, more so that they put you in those confinement rooms for numerous reasons, and it's not just suicide. It's if I say that I think that there's a hit out of me in like the jail or the prison, then I can go and be in protective custody with the prisons, and it's called isolation. And it's Carroll County needs Richard Allen alive to make their case against the other people. Animal DNA is powerful. Said by Bad Girl. No, absolutely. Yep. Someone says, yep, it's the cat here. Totally agree. Those other inmates will try and off him. Yeah, because they're going to put a hit on him. Again, if there's all these other people involved. If I was innocent and charged with this, I would be telling everyone I saw that I didn't do this. And we don't know that he's not saying that. You don't want to be saying anything. You want to be just talking to your lawyer and not saying a word to anybody. You guys, we know how the media is. If Richard Allen doesn't say anything, it goes back to my bag. Yep. If Richard Allen doesn't say anything, nothing can be used against him. His family can't say anything. He can't say anything. The media is the worst. That's just boom. Take a look at YouTube. How... Do you think they are trying to break him in jail? No, in the beginning, anybody, that's why I think those first, when they went there, remember I talked about this when they went there with, the search warrant to search his home in the first place. You know, it spoke volumes to me that he was not down at the station speaking to authorities. He wasn't he wasn't talking to them at his house, and they would have said, "Hey, do you want to come down to the station and talk to us?" He's like, "No. Do you have are you here to arrest me? Then no, I'm not going to talk to you. I have nothing to say. What are you guys here for?" So I believe that he hasn't spoke to them at all, like not even on that day to present day at all. I think that he asked for, he was going to get his own attorney, and then once he realized that, he couldn't afford one, now he needs them to appoint one. But no, I don't believe that Richard Allen has spoke to anybody. As far as trying to break him, I think this is really high profile. I think that you'd be stupid to do anything and mess this up. I think that his plea of "I'm throwing myself at the mercy," like him begging for, representation, it told me a lot, because he could have just, okay, I'm gonna talk to the police and see what's up. What are you guys offering for me to even talk to you? Like, stuff like that. But I don't think he ever even entertained it. Let's see. Leanna, I sent you a photo attachment of Richard Allen to your email. Okay. I'm looking that up now, the email that you sent. My emails get vetted now. Susan, you're absolutely. To be clear, she seemed perfectly fine like an all-American girl, but not all dolled up like a 13-year-old to meet an internet crush. Don't know what that's about. Richard Allen has to be... This is what Lauren says. Richard Allen has to be in lock under PC regardless of his risk threat level. He's not the OCMA. He's county because... Yes, but even in county, that was the issue, is that they couldn't keep him safe. The reason that he's not in county, guys, is because they couldn't keep him safe there. So think about that. They were saying that not only could we not keep him safe, like we don't believe that we're going to be able to keep our staff safe. And honestly, when you hear that, who do you think would want Richard Allen dead more than anybody? And no, I don't believe it's the family. I think the family wants to know what the heck happened. I think the family wants some answers. But the people that would want Richard Allen dead would be the people that did the crime with him. Thanks. Let's take a look here. I'm questioning the Anthony Shots meetup. Hi, Nancy. I guess my question to you guys is do you think that it was a premature arrest? Do you think it was a premature arrest? Do you think that they tried to surprise attack Allen and be like, and thinking that he was going to talk, that he was going to roll? How long do you think they were monitoring him before they decided, okay, like, let's do this now? I mean, are you guys still believing in like the whole tools thing and the whole neighbor thing? But do you think this was a premature arrest? Just curious. chicken head. She thinks, or he thinks, it was premature. I think they have some evidence to charge him. Yeah. I think that the probable cause relies on, like I've said, that happened on a Wednesday. Then they wait until Friday to then arrest him at CVS. Maybe to make it seem like, okay, yeah, nothing came up, and then we're just gonna, do this at CVS on Friday. Not make it a big scene at his house because the neighbors are watching, but more importantly, that this relied heavily on, a confidential informant. But, is there a confidential informant involved? Or a witness that wants to come forward that maybe already took some type of a deal, took some type of immunity to say what they know, and that I think that those cat hairs that you found would link back to this person, because this person was the person that lured the girls in the first place and had to handle with the girls. And so, let's see. I am a woman. Hear me roar. I'm not sure I believe the neighbor tool story at all. Yeah, me neither. Right? Yeah, I know. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I just didn't know if people realized that, because it seems to be a common misconception. I'm just pointing it out because I used to work for IDOC. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. We're not disagreeing at all. I think it was just more of like, he's where he has to be right now. But even when he was in county, I mean, they knew that they just couldn't keep him safe. And I think that had a lot to do with the other people. I heard people saying something about, oh, they just think, look at how, watched Richard Allen is. That's how crazy they think he is and how dangerous they think he is. And it's just like, well, let's be honest. 5.5 years have gone by and nothing has happened in Delphi, in terms of anything like this. There's not a person that's going around killing people like this. I think I was putting together stuff to show a ring, and then just showing that the agents came in when they talked to Keegan and said, we had to put together one of the biggest, task force in the state ever for this ring. I'll just leave it like that. If it was a warrant for tools, wouldn't that be the one thing that they could Yeah, that's what we talked about before. I agree. Lisa, yep. Lauren. The people that Richard Allen can incriminate want him dead the most. Oh, God. Anyway, got a run. Have a good night, y'all. Like your stuff. Good research. Thanks, Lauren. Why did Carter say that opening the documents to the public would not affect the case? And then today we are told that the prosecutor is saying the opposite. Is everyone drunk? I think from the beginning, everybody's been on different pages. And I think that is natural when you have a bunch of different agencies working together. When I heard about Idaho and all of the, we have all of these, officers from this place and these agents and this agency and this, and I'm just like listening to this and I'm like, what? Why? That's when stuff falls through the cracks, in my opinion. You don't need all of that. That's not... No, you need people examining. I mean, if you're using those people to go through reports and leads, if that's what you're doing, but you need people more like... I know for me, if I was to hear people's stories, or at least, read a bunch of the reports, that's how I'm going to be able to put things together or But when you have a bunch of different people doing a bunch of different things, like when are you debriefing? When are you going over anything? And who's organizing all of that? And I just think that's how things would fall through the cracks. But yeah, is everyone drunk? That's funny. I don't think that those 5 charges being dropped had anything to do with it. In fact, I think that they wanted us to believe that, and they wanted other people to believe that. I don't think that that has anything to do with, Klein telling them anything, but I think that they wanted people to think that. And when I say people, I'm talking about people that might be involved. Let's see. What's up, Tennessee in the house? Look out. I go ahead and give you praise, and then the next thing we know is sorry that they lost to Georgia. I think it was Georgia. Yeah, no, I don't think that picture has anything to do with how she was looked, and if you're going to go meet an internet crush now. I think if anything, she obviously has her profile. He has his profile. You're going to see what the person, looks like. So, that's my take. They were urging for people to still come forward with tips and if you know anything. And I'm just asking, like, okay, so 5.5 years, nothing. And then all of a sudden, where did this, okay, we got a judge to sign to be able to search Richard Allen's property. Where'd that come from? Where'd that information come from? That's what I think is interesting. And then from that, there was a murder arrest, but they kept it all hush on what they were going to be charging him with until, boom, then it's okay, it's felony murder. Then he's shipped around, doesn't have an attorney for a week. Then they have this hearing today. I'm sorry, then they, seal the probable cause. Then they have this, hearing today, and a bail hearing was granted. And you see his lawyers, right, that this is not present and this is not present. So those two things, at least one of those two things, and that's what they said in 3 here, that because neither the proof of guilt is evident nor the presumption of guilt strong, the accused is seeking a hearing to release the accused. That they believe that he should be out on bail. So, interesting. No, not that one. Thank you. I see. To me, Carter has been pretty clear about saying Richard Allen is the guy. What all this other stuff may mean, I have no idea. There we go. That is saying your text is interesting. I know somebody from there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what did they get from, what led them there? A judge signed it. Then from being there, boom, arrested. But how did they get there in the first place? Where did this come from? How long have they had it? It's just, but then even to say, okay, today there are, this is the first day, think about this, and since the murders, that they have ever said that they are looking, basically for multiple people. So think about this now. Think about that sketch. Think about the fact that there was 2 sketches. Now think about everything that I've been trying to say. Like this father-son duo, with what I've uncovered is that, does this ring involve, fathers and sons? Because what those 2 images kind of showed me, the sketches, is that it's like a younger person that's like in their early 20s, and then you got like someone that looks like they could be your dad of that early 20s. And that's what those 2 sketches show me. But today's the first day we've ever heard them say, hey, yep, it's Richard Allen didn't work alone. There's other people involved, not other persons, but we believe other people, not just one other person. Other people. The murderer and the person responsible. I want to know why MP and BP denied knowing him. Any thoughts, Lana? I think it's a clue. Knowing him how, though? Where did they deny knowing him? I think that this definitely needs to be moved. I think there's way too many connections in this, I think... I think that Richard Allen's safety is very, very, that's, with what was just said today, Richard Allen is now, in my opinion, more unsafe than he was before today. Because everybody that's involved in this now knows that they know that there's more people. And so if Richard Allen is dead, he can't talk. So then what happens? Does that blow the case? You know what I mean? That's why it's like, if you think that Richard Allen only did this portion of it, okay, and that these other people are actually the ones responsible for, all these heinous things, is it worth cutting a deal with someone like Richard Allen if it means you're taking down 10 people? If you know that Richard Allen only did lure the girls but didn't know that was going to happen, if you can prove that, would you cut somebody like that a deal to make sure that you get the other people? Chickenhead says, yes, I think I would cut a deal with Allen to get others. Humanimal says, how embarrassing for law enforcement, in my opinion. Maybe they just feel embarrassed after saying they eye open every man in town. They didn't eye up Allen. go back and listen to Carter's statements. You want to know what we know. And one day you will. That person could be in this room right now. It's I think today, if I was part of the family, I'd be very confused. You know what he also said, Carter said? He said, it's a really complex case. Remember, I've been saying that's complex. It's complex. Yeah, it's complex. And he's like, and I just can't wait for the day to tell it, in court. Well, what can't you wait to tell? Because right now, there's other people that are involved, and right now, you didn't arrest those other people yet. So that tells me that you can't arrest them, and I want to know why you can't arrest them. So I guess that's where my hang-up is, and unless, do you think that the prosecutors or say prosecutor, it's Mr. Nicholas here, it just, I thought he was waiting to tell a story on how he was able to catch this man. Basically that he made a huge and a stupid mistake that allowed, and that huge and stupid mistake would be something like your neighbors with the, you being drunk and stealing tools, world's dumbest criminal, stuff like that. Number one, Richard Allen came forward. If they released audio and video, they might have caught him through tip in. Number two, they went to CVS and maybe even spoke to Allen about types of knives and who sold to from CVS. It's complex because who's involved? I just think today it made it look like they don't have what they made it seem like that they had a month ago, or not even a month ago. Well, just shy of a month. What they made it seem like they had a month ago to what happened today in the courtroom, I think that's I think it's going to be interesting. They don't have a case, Bano says. And 6 years is just way too long. I think they had no clue. Hi, Mod Squad. I'm not sure, for real says, I'm not sure there's any deals to be cut with Allen. He may know nothing at all. True, because they could have been like, he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I told them I was there. I told them I was there, like, in the beginning. But I didn't see anything, but yes, I was there. I have no idea what you're talking about. But I found it interesting to see Allen guarded by U.S. Marshals. At least they looked like them. Well, I definitely know that there was mass security, and the mass security was around Richard Allen, obviously, but it was also in ways to be surveying the crowd. Like I said, it's Allen's dead. Nobody can. He's the only one that could take down stuff. That's what I would think after I heard today, that Richard Allen did not act alone. There's others involved, and if you release that, it's going to jeopardize that. But then you have Carter saying it's just a temporary hold. Or maybe if you release this, then the people out there are going to know that we don't have any. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I just think that Indiana needs to play it right. Don't be playing games. This is 2 little girls' lives brutally murdered. Their families. And I just don't think this is where you play games. And that's all the more and more I've researched this, is a lot of game playing. So I think that that's really unfortunate. I had to go back and check all the stuff that I have. I believe he was asked, is Richard Allen bridge guy? And he said the judge signed the judge signed it. The judge signed it. The judge wouldn't sign it if this isn't, Yeah, you can hope to shake trees and do all of that. I think that those videos I put out early on to show all the different interviews over the time with law enforcement, I think those tell a lot. I don't think he's tall. I don't think that Richard Allen's tall at all. I think that we saw him for the first time, other than like a photo, and when he was standing next to those guards, I mean, he looks pretty short now. I don't think he's that tall. I'm a new subscriber. My sister recommended you. Yay! Welcome, E. Moore. What is good? You're not definitely beating a dead horse. No beating dead horses. Look for the one hiding his face still. Well, I hope there's a reason behind it. I mean, yeah, that's for not releasing audio and video allowed doubt and gaslighting. By the time 2019 came around, wife was never going to come forward. She'd been confused as the next person. Yeah, I've always said that if it was if my husband told me that, oh my God, I was there at lunchtime, I was walking there, I need to go tell somebody this, like, I was there, like, let me see pictures of these girls, like, hey, I was there, but I don't think I saw or heard anything, and this is the time frame I was there, and then my husband told me that that's what they did, and he came back, and then he said, yeah, I told him that was me, you just, I think today was a big eye opener with like truth and transparency in terms of today's the first day that all of you guys have been following this case for 5.5 years, going on 6. Okay, you got a truth bomb, which was multiple people are involved in this. Multiple people are involved in this. And they're doing everything they can to keep that still sealed. And now it's up to Indiana. Are they going to continue to keep it sealed? But he told a park ranger versus, law enforcement. Again, I'm still holding out to see how that all transpired and who he told. We'll see. What happened today, they got handed their ass. Vicky, how are ya? Vicky, how are you? You know, I know somebody made a comment that said, if that was my daughter, no, I wouldn't cut a deal with Alan. Well, I could see where you'd say that, but I'd also have to say, like, I wouldn't want this to happen to anybody else's daughter. I would never want this to happen to anybody else's daughter. And so I would want the memory of my daughter. I would be like, I'm willing to make this deal so that nobody, if it means that this wouldn't happen again. So, and cutting a deal doesn't mean that he's not going to, his life's ruined. Richard Allen, anywhere that he goes, this is going to be, whether he's honestly innocent or guilty, this is always what he's going to be pegged with. So, but if that town's corrupt, and you can take down a bunch of people that are hurting people, maybe not even on the level that what happened to Libby and Abby, but on a completely different level, then, you know, that their deaths could save other people. That's how I would look at it as a parent. Hello, Hot Ham Radio. And she would think he went forward, and they didn't. What is up, Jeremiah? Hopefully you're doing well. Maybe they're waiting till they get all their evidence and facts in order before more arrests, because they know once they go to trial, that's it. I still don't think that today's the day. I just don't think that October 28th is the day. And that's just sad when you would hear, as the family, to hear that others are involved. Okay, because guess what now? Now you have to leave that courthouse, and you're going to go back to your Delphi house, and you're going to be sitting there with 3,000 Delphi residents. And you're going to be thinking to yourself, which one of you other fucking pervs, you know, is involved? And it's not just going to be one, you know, others. So it's multiple, or in the surrounding area. And so it just, I think parents need to be on high alert right now, because this will be triggering, that it could send these people that were doing stuff like this and were involved to be triggered. And when people are triggered, they do things that they normally wouldn't do. So, but today, for the first time, I believe that there was truth. And the truth is that there's multiple people. But I want to know what roads led to Richard Allen's search warrant, and then what happened there at the house during that 12-hour search, then led to him being arrested for felony murder in connection with the Delphi murders. Those are my questions. What led them there in the first place? And I think that that's what's in, it's a person, and that's what's in the probable cause. Because then that's not just Richard Allen that you got to keep safe. You got to keep safe the person that basically was the confidential informant, or a witness, or was there multiple witnesses that, you know, we're scared kids, because I know in Aliquippa you're taught to, your parents tell you you're not saying a fucking word and shut your mouth. Sorry for the cuss, but that's what they say. Again, welcome anybody that's new. Welcome everybody that's been a member, been a subscriber. Yeah, I kind of wanted to know what you guys felt, hearing for the first time, boom, multiple people are involved in this. I think then it tells me, hey, Lana, you know what you're doing. Go make yourself another video and show how these connect to the people that you think it involves and how it connects. Because that's been the main thing, is how does Richard Allen connect to the disgusting ring that's formed in those surrounding cities and towns of Delphi. Octavia says, I'm glad they are finally saying there are more people involved. It's definitely a ring. Thank you for putting this out there, Lana. You are very welcome, Octavia. And thank you for considering being my merchandise handler. I'm going to heart that. Bethy Cakes, how are ya? Humanimal says they've had 6 years even to wrap up a huge CP ring. That's long enough. It should have led to Alan already. That little squirm isn't the head kingpin, is he? Yes, we need to know how, why was this happening? The arrest. Hazel says, it doesn't make sense to me. A 40-something-year-old guy who was married with a daughter one day gets up and goes and kills 2 girls. That's been my struggle. Also, nothing surrounding, Alan and his life. It's like he's a ghost. I think somebody, mentioned that. Well, he has access through CVS to all the locals, their lives. Yeah, he does. He does. He can look somebody up and he's going to be able to tell you what prescriptions that person takes. Also, remember back in the day when you'd call in, you'd be like, hey, I'm going to send up my film. I'm going to drop it off for you guys to develop. And then some, when you were younger, you would take ridiculous pictures and you're like, oh my God, that person at so-and-so is totally going to if they looked at these pictures, totally get a show. So yeah, somebody in his capacity of what he does for a living at CVS, even just like a measly worker at CVS, if you were hunting around, could find out a decent amount of a lot of people in that area because it's so small. It's different when you feel that pain when you're a family member of a victim. You want to fight and you learn a ton about law in the process, so you approach it differently. Yeah, I think that since it's been the 6 years, I think that's why I think the family would feel that, obviously cutting a deal with somebody, 30 days after your loved one was brutally murdered, no. But I think where you're at right now in the point of your life that it's been 6 years, to maneuver a deal to see, I think that you would have a different approach. Those of you guys that followed the Chris Watts case, the Shenan's family was definitely approached as far as making a deal. And that was very, very early on. But I don't think that I think that everybody's going to have their difference of opinion. I think for me, I wouldn't want, it doesn't matter if it was right after it happened or when, I wouldn't want the wrong person. I would want the person that did this to my child. And I want to know that, though. I don't want to walk around a town and walk past people that know that they had an involvement with murdering my child. And here, I don't, but every time they walk past me or they see me that they know something like that I don't, that would just no way. So, especially in a town like that, it's so small, I would want to know everybody involved. I would want to make sure that the right people were held accountable. And some people say you're not thinking clearly at that time, and you don't care if it's the wrong person, you want someone to pay. Everybody's different, but I can tell you that that's not how I would ever feel. I would never want somebody to pay for something that they didn't do. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'd want to know how this happened, because I think that Abby and Libby aren't morons. And their family is very confident when they speak about that. So, and maybe that's what led to this, like them realizing right away that something was wrong. And they were like, oh, hell no, we don't want your beer. We don't want your drugs and to go drink and party with you guys down by some shed. And they wanted to bolt. They didn't just let themselves be lured and buy into whatever was being said to them. So they tried to like get away, and then, it led to something that it wasn't supposed to be, because someone panicked or whatever. But, definitely, Vicky. Lana is full of sayings. Shouldn't be that hard. Well, we'll have good ones. Yeah, I went to a high school with right around 1,500. So, yeah, I don't know what it's like to live in a small area like that. I mean, yeah, I would think that, it's small. Oh, bye, JJ. Have a good night. Can't imagine how the family and friends have, yeah. I'd have so many questions, his wife, like you said, like she's not working. She's hasn't been at her home. There's just a lot of safety concerns, I think, after today. They basically are telling you, hey guys, this is not just Richard Allen and, multiple people. So like, why would multiple people be involved in killing 2 little girls? Think about that. Nobody just calls somebody up on the phone in a 3-way and says, hey, let's go, kill some little girl. That's not. Why would multiple people be involved with killing 2 little girls and planning that? And clearly they knew this when they arrested Allen. So they've known this. But they've only wanted us to focus on the bridge guy. Interesting. I'm just saying, if I lived in Delphi, I'd have a lot of I wouldn't be happy right now. I would not be happy because you've let us roam our town for 6 years, and have our kids out here. But damn Idaho, they put the damn county on like lockdown, it felt like. When colleges go to that extreme, when I went to Cincinnati, it was during Over the Rhine riots, and I remember getting like these notices, like we had like a curfew, like the city had a curfew. You had to be inside or couldn't be anywhere for like 8 or something like that. And then one night it was 6, and I'm like, what is going on? Now Over the Rhine in Cincinnati is like, they put all this money into it. It's like a plush area. It's just crazy. Snuff films bring big money. That's been said. Hi, Anthony. Where have you been, Anthony? Geez, I'm over here eating dinner by myself because you didn't show up for our dinner date. You're an hour late. Kyle. Hi, Kyle. Kyle is from Delphi. I'm from Delphi, and I'm not happy. Not happy my kids don't get to experience the Delphi I grew up in and loved. Oh, see, like that stuff right there. Kyle, I'm going to keep, your family and the other families of the area in my thoughts and prayers because, yeah, what I heard today would really upset me as a member of your community. So, how can you send photos to CVS? Back in the day, how can you send photos to CVS? Is there a digital trail? Well, nowadays you just go there and you're kind of like, it's like self-done now. But I'm talking about back in the day when you drop off your like roll film, you know? Nowadays people are just plugging in their iPhones and printing off from your photos on your phone. I agree. I feel like games are being played. A great point. Thank you. Tiffany says, I think that when they went off to Vegas, that that they sold the film, and I go back to how are they not able to get his iPhone that day, and then it just miraculously was right there on, the micro. None of that makes sense. You can still mail away film at some locations of CVS, but the people who work there don't deal with it. Oh, no? Well, thanks, Hot Ham, for that, Why did they allow Patties to tell about photos if everything is so hush-hush? I don't think it was hush-hush up until, I think today is when there's a gag order in place. So... Looking at my case, hard to understand how many repeat offenders aren't of interest. The bar owner said he'd seen MP drink with RA. Maybe that's not a fact. Not bashing Family Atlanta. Did you not find it strange how family reacted to arrest? Yeah, I think that the family even announced that they were, this is not how we thought we would feel, after this. I think you also can't believe, but think about it. They were right. The family was right in how they felt that day on October 28th. Their feelings were right. Because guess what was said today? Richard Allen, he's actually not the guy. There's a reason it's felony murder, guys. Think about that. So I just think that, say that today's the day, but then you have to rewind it and say, but today's not a day to, my gut tells me, and I could see it, I don't think Carter was nowhere near as confident in that press conference. He was off that stage so fast, but I don't think that he wanted to make that arrest right then and there. That's my gut. Hence, they waited until Monday of the Friday when the arrest happened, and they have that press conference not till the October 31st. Hence the whole searching on the 26th, but not arrested till the 28th, or searching. I'm sorry, what was it the previous week? There was hesitation. I felt. So, hi JB, hopefully you're feeling well. I went on a deep dive on snuff films thanks to Bella, and I told her she wanted to read some book on her channel, and I was like, oh my goodness, no. I urged her. I was like, you cannot, because she doesn't have a true crime channel, she has a bedtime story channel, I guess you want to call it, a librarian channel. But I told her that she could not read anything like that. I was like, you're not going to put anybody to sleep. You're going to make people be scared. Just living the dream over there? Okay. Hi, Mark. Welcome. Yeah, Carter was out of town when the arrest was made. Yeah. Octavia says 8mm, that movie is based off of true events. Just kidding. No, it's not. But it doesn't mean it does not happen in real life. That's what Octavia wants us to know. So now go watch 8mm. Is that the movie you're talking about, by the way? Bella would be the cutest librarian, said Ashley. Ashley, welcome. Never again, when I hear someone say today's the day, will I believe it's any kind of day. Hot Ham says librarian channel. What do you want me to call it? Great, now I'm going to get help for that, okay? I don't know what to call it, okay? It's a bedtime story reading classic. It's a classic channel, man. That made me laugh. Librarian channel. It's a card catalog channel, guys. Go check it out. I would rent books from any library Bella worked at, and I don't. EB. What's EB mean? Oh, God. Gotta laugh a little bit, guys. Yeah, so I just want everybody to know that today was the day for me to be told, Lana, you're right. So that's what I felt like today was. Hey, Lana, keep on doing what you're doing with your channel, with your Delphi exclusives, because you ain't wrong, sister. Oh, Anthony meant to say, and I don't read. Clearly, Anthony, you don't write either, but I still love you because you're Italian. Card catalogs. Calling all card catalogers. The P ring is true, right? Did they escalate their type of violent? I'm going to do a members, because this stuff is hard to talk about, and this is, like, this live is public, but if I do a members only live a little bit into, like, this, and maybe I'll call it, like, a snuff dive or whatever, but there is things that I think we should talk about this, because I don't believe that the cops or agents that spoke with Keegan, whatever he wants to go by, I don't think they were lying when they said that due to this Anthony, like them following the whole Anthony Schatz profile led to them uncovering this huge P ring, and that involved the largest that Indiana, the state, has ever, had. So I don't think that that's a lie, because then they, they let him go, right? But then they arrest him 2 years later, right? Or was it? Yeah, was it? No, it was. I mean, 2017. Then they arrest him in 2020. So, but like he was out for 3 years. But did they let him? Like, why didn't they just arrest him in 2017? That's what I don't get. Why didn't they arrest him in 2017 for the charges that they had? Because I believe they had those charges in 2017. So why would you leave him out until 2020 when you then arrest him? Then he's questioned by, that's the reading that me and Bella did. The second half was on her channel. The first half she did with Zavril, so it's the transcripts of that. And it's like, why? Why did that arrest come 3 years later? Because I believe that all of that they had that in 2017. Well, because was he CI? Because guys, you're CI, and so you're out and about, right? And you're supposed to be giving people, but that doesn't mean that they can't arrest you anytime that they want. They can, and they will. They own you once you're CI because they know what you've done, and they can, hey, well, yeah, this was the deal, and then, okay, well, deal's up, and being a CI is very dangerous, to be honest. but you're going to get them the information that they want when they want it. Or once you're useless, then when you become a liability is when you can become arrested, or they will get you arrested on something else to take care of that for them. So, but that'll be, like I said, I don't want to have a public video about that. That's something that I would do a private video for, and for certain, viewing people that knew what it was going to be about and didn't just stumble upon a live like that. I don't think that that's how that should ever happen. Cal says the probably left him out for so long to track who he communicated with over that time. But the stuff that he did was really, really weird during his time that he was out. So it will be interesting. I think there was a hit out on Richard Allen, and that's why they finally brought him in. I think they were watching and tracking him. I also think that they knew he wasn't the killer, and that's why they left him out to trap. That's interesting. Biker Babe, interesting comment. I could definitely see that. LOL. I saw so many comments today all over YouTube of people saying, wait, so it's a ring? Like people didn't know this? Oof. Thank you, Biker Babe. I haven't seen you here before. Welcome, by the way. I love seeing new names. Wait till tomorrow to do the member live so I can join the membership. I will. I'll give you a heads up on that. Oh, look at that. Mark asked, what is Bella's channel? Bella's channel is Bedtime Stories with Bella. You can drop it in the link. Or I mean, you could drop the link in the live chat if any of the mods are here. Sorry, I'm just trying to go back at your... not at all the message they sent us. This was a result of reviewing old tip. Not at all the message they sent us. This was a result of reviewing old tip. They can't decide. He told a conversation officer that he was there. I agree. Right now, everything is not... I'm trying to be very polite when I want to say this. If you want to say mixed messages, but I just think that there's contradiction going on as far as everything to do with the arrest and the, I guess you'd say, spotlight, like what led them to Richard Allen, and it's just, it's unfortunate that can't come out. Like, why can't they just say, Richard Allen's bridge guy? And right now everything points to the bridge guy being, involved, or blah, 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 or what, this, or, so that to me is sus, but, I find it fascinating, Sanger says, study in human behavior to learn that. Despite all the turmoil in his life, Richard Allen still has the focus to keep up that ridiculous Billy Goat chin hair thing going. Well, I don't think he probably has the tools to take care of that. Somebody has to, hey, can I cut this? And then you'd have to shave it. So I think it's actually easier to just let it be. Or was it clean shaven around? Was it just like a scruffle? I guess I didn't really take too keen of notice of his facial presence with his hair. On VHS. Let's see. Oh, thanks for dropping that link there. It's the best damn librarian channel you'll ever find. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Someone here said they live in Delphi, so we have a question. How many times did the cops knock on your door in the course of their investigation? And then Kyle, who's been awesome, he says, I said I'm from Delphi, and not one single time did they knock on my door. So there's that. I would definitely agree with the statement by Alan Smith here. I think with this CP ring, Richard Allen is way more likely to be scared of them than any law enforcement. I'm going to tell you why. Because they're not just coming for you. They're coming for your whole family. Like, this is where stories were heard of, like, you know, Richard Allen's wife would just have a car accident or seriously happen to her. You know, like stuff like that. And especially who's involved in it, and if it's old money, if it's prominent names. But I think today was the first glance at truth, and I'm going to leave it there with, we were now told that Richard Allen is not, in my opinion, the guy. He was charged with felony murder. And in my opinion, he was charged with that because he committed a felony that led to the deaths of then Libby and Abby. While in the action of committing this felony, it resulted in the deaths and the murder of those two girls. That's what Criminal Justice 101 basically says. And then you can look up what those felonies consist of. But if you know, abduction, kidnapping, right there. So if he swooped the girls up, that's kidnapping. And remember, they were, quote unquote, listed as, you know, this was a missing persons. This was like a kidnapping. And that's what they had it at until then 12:15, and the next morning when they found them, when they were doing the search, they found them deceased. So it was a kidnapping. It was an abduction. And those felonies are specific. Yes, they are very specific. There's also other things that are listed, such as things I just don't feel like mentioning. They're disturbing in my opinion. Food for thought, could Alan's extreme weight gain, did he gain a bunch of weight? I don't think that, did he gain a bunch of weight? When is this, food for thought, could Alan's extreme weight gain be contributed to a nervous, aka fear of being busted, compulsive eating disorder? Wow. Alan could have adopted them off the bridge, for example, and that's it. Exactly. And that's why on my channel I had asked you guys, where was that shoe located? I wanted to know where that shoe was. And remember, everybody was like, well, it was actually on the other side. It wasn't on the side that they were found on, right? But could it have been that if the girls were swooped up and during the struggle that one of the shoes came off and then somebody picked it up and then just chucked it over the bridge, you know, on that side or whatever, and then, you know, went off in a vehicle. So I think that the door comes back now to be open when multiple people are involved. I always said that I thought that it would be way too, how are you, you know, you're Richard Allen, and you're just walking along and you just happen to see these two girls in the middle of the day. Out of the blue, you just get this urge to attack and abduct and brutally murder two little girls. That just... So, all right, guys, keep your eye out. I am going to work on putting a couple things together. I was waiting on this 22nd date to happen. But more importantly, I was, I have my own life and things like that. What was that? So, whatever. Make sure you guys go check out Bella's librarian channel. Cheers to all of you guys. You guys, it is Thanksgiving this Thursday. I just want to wish all of you guys, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, but in case I don't, I want to wish all of you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I think that for as much as we live in this true crime world and we see all these horrible things, there's a lot that we need to look at that we're thankful for. And that even in the worst of times, you can find a lot of things to be thankful for. And for me, it's, your family. It's what Thanksgiving is all about. So please enjoy your family, log off, focus on your family and be about your family. Be thankful that you have Thanksgiving to eat with them, because there's a lot of people that are still looking for lost loved ones. There's people that have, just the Idaho 4, for example, any horrific event that happens around the holidays is something that stays with you forever. So until next time, guys, in case Mark wants us to know that go Buffalo, and I want to tell you guys go Browns. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you soon, and take care.